Libra, dearest soul of balance and beauty, let me tell you right now, September 2025 is your turning point. Not just any month, but the luckiest, most energetically aligned month of your entire year. This is your moment to rise, to return to yourself, and to feel fully, truly, finally what it means to be free again. Have you felt it building lately? A quiet shift? Like the winds of your life are preparing to change direction? Not in chaos. Not in fear. But in clarity. And divine timing. That's not your imagination. It's your intuition waking up. It's your spirit recognizing a door has opened. And this video, this very moment, might be the moment you realize you were never meant to miss it. Because here, Libra, we are stepping into something much more than astrology. We're stepping into your personal prophecy. This is a month of reconnection, where you return to your true self after wandering through fog. A time of breakthrough, when everything you've prayed for in silence starts to answer back. And most beautifully, a time of gratitude in motion, where the blessings you once hoped for begin to take shape, and your heart finally whispers, This is what I was waiting for. You are not watching this by accident. You were brought here by alignment. And the truth is, Libra, the stars are not just hinting. They're speaking clearly. They're saying, you're not behind. You're not late. You're right on time. This is a deep, intentional reading created for you on Zodiac Whisper Tarot, a sacred space where we don't just predict, we reveal, we remember, we rise. I'm not here to give you fluff. I'm here to deliver what your soul has been trying to hear, what God has been orchestrating quietly in the background, and what this new cycle is finally ready to release. Let me also take a moment to express my sincerest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, every subscribe doesn't just support this channel, it strengthens a soul-led community. It tells the universe, I'm listening now. And it tells me that you're ready. I want you to stay with me through this entire reading, because what the universe is revealing for you, especially in the next few minutes, will shift something powerful in your energy field. We're talking about unseen support, divine timing, and the release of burdens that were never yours to carry. And before we dive in, let me ask you something directly. What pulled you here today? Libra? What deep knowing or quiet nudge led you to click and stay? If this message already feels like it's speaking to something real in your life, I want you to comment below and say, this shift is for me. That comment, small as it seems, is a spiritual declaration. It's an anchor. It tells the universe, you're aware. You're awake. You're aligned. Now take a deep breath. You're exactly where you need to be. And everything is about to unfold. Stay with me. Sometimes, clarity doesn't arrive with fireworks. It comes in a quiet breath, a gentle, almost imperceptible loosening of something you didn't realize you were holding so tightly. Libra, if you've been sensing this subtle yet undeniable shift within you, know that you are not imagining it. What you're experiencing is not a coincidence or a fleeting emotional wave. It's the beginning of a soul-level awakening, a sacred moment where the weight you've been carrying, often without fully knowing why, begins to dissolve into light. You've always been the sign of balance, harmony, and refined inner truth. And yet, for so long, you may have found yourself caught between holding space for others and losing yourself in the process. Like someone who put on emotional armor not out of fear, but out of survival. You wore it well. You held it all together. But now, something within you is whispering, it's safe to take it off. And as you do, it feels like opening a window after a long storm, letting in the first clean breath of air you've felt in months. There is something about this season, especially September, that stirs your air element nature in a very particular way. It doesn't push. It doesn't demand. It simply moves, shifts, realigns. Like wind moving through trees or breath awakening the lungs, the energy around you is inviting gentle but profound motion. This isn't about upheaval or drastic reinvention. It's about releasing the layers that no longer belong to you. The stories you've outgrown. The guilt you've inherited. The beliefs you once needed for protection, but now only weigh you down. You are not who you were 6 months ago. And this is not just spiritual poetry, it's energetic truth. Your perception of yourself is evolving. You're starting to understand that strength doesn't mean self-sacrifice. That love doesn't require silence. That forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's freeing yourself. When you begin to see yourself through eyes of compassion rather than correction, something inside you begins to heal. You don't have to announce it. Healing doesn't always look like a ceremony. Sometimes, it looks like making a different choice. Saying no when you used to say yes. Resting when you'd normally push through. Letting go when you'd usually hold on. For many, this will be a deeply emotional period, not because of pain, but because of release. Think of it like exhaling for the first time after holding your breath too long. That's why you might cry unexpectedly. Or feel tired even after a full night's sleep. Or find yourself remembering parts of yourself you had set aside for later. That's not regression. It's integration. It's wholeness finally making its way back to you. And if we borrow from the wisdom found in everyday faith, the kind of quiet devotion that weaves through people's lives without needing to be seen, this moment is very much like a holy pause. It's the space between the miracle and the manifestation. It's where surrender meets grace. There's a reason people often say, God moves when we let go. Because often, it's not about doing more, but about trusting more. Letting go of the illusion that we have to carry everything alone in order to be worthy. So if you feel like something in your soul is starting to breathe again, if your heart feels just a little more open than it did yesterday, I want you to honor that. Take a moment to notice the subtle beauty of your own unfolding. And if you feel comfortable, I invite you to share it. Leave a comment that simply says, I'm opening. Let that be your quiet declaration to yourself, to this community, and to whatever is gently guiding your steps now. You're not alone in this shift, Libra. And you never were. There comes a moment in every journey where the tides begin to turn, not because you pushed harder, or did more, but because something deeper finally aligned. Libra, this is that moment for you. If it feels like something is shifting in your career, your finances, or your overall sense of purpose, trust it. It's not random. It's not lucky in the way most people define luck. What's arriving now is the delayed harvest of everything you've planted quietly, faithfully, and often without recognition. This is soul-earned return. Energetic dividends. A sacred payout that respects the timing of both your inner work and your outer patience. You see, the wheel of fortune in the tarot isn't some whimsical spin of fate. It's a spiritual mechanism. It moves according to laws, not just cosmic ones like astrology or divine timing, but also the internal ones: consistency, surrender, courage in private, and integrity when no one is watching. And you, Libra, have been operating from those truths even when it didn't feel like they were paying off. Now they are. What's about to shift in your material life is not luck. It's alignment. Think back for a moment not just to the big moves, but to the quiet choices. The time you said yes to something uncertain. The time you let go of something comfortable for something authentic. The moment you kept going even when it seemed like no one noticed. Those are your seeds. And just like in nature, you don't get to choose the day the flowers bloom. But when they do, they come all at once. That's what this September feels like: a collective blooming of all the energy you've nurtured, especially in your career, your calling, and how you relate to money itself. This is also a time to make decisions from a place of wisdom, not urgency. If opportunities show up, and many of you will see them, don't rush, but don't dismiss them either. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this connected to the version of me I'm becoming? That question is more valuable than any outside advice you'll ever receive. Because true alignment doesn't feel like force. It feels like flow. Like doors that open without you needing to knock. Like resources that appear when you decide you're ready to use them well. If you've been considering a career shift, expanding a project, launching a business idea, or even investing in yourself in a new way, this is a month to listen closely. Pay attention to the invitations that don't demand, but gently return. And don't underestimate the power of small steps taken with full intention. Writing down short-term goals, revisiting your budget with clarity instead of fear, or finally putting your creative idea into motion, these are all forms of honoring the abundance that's coming toward you. And remember, prosperity isn't just about money. It's about support, visibility, self-trust, and enoughness. In numerology, dates like the 17th, 22nd, 24th, and 30th carry specific vibrations this month. These are windows, not deadlines, but energetic openings where decisions may carry more momentum than usual. Use them wisely. Even something as simple as emailing a potential collaborator, applying for a job, or journaling a business vision can carry amplified energy on these days. As you reflect on where you've been and where you're headed, let this part of your journey be a reminder that the universe keeps perfect records. Nothing you've done in love, in effort, or in faith has been wasted. So rather than chasing luck, start anchoring your belief that what's coming to you is the echo of everything you already gave. This is your will turning. And it's turning with your name on it. It's often said that real love begins the moment we no longer need it to fill a void. And Libra, that's exactly where you are now, standing in a space where love is no longer a rescue mission, but a reflection of the inner peace you've slowly been cultivating. There's a quiet confidence emerging within you this month, one that isn't desperate to be chosen or validated, but deeply content in being understood first by yourself, and then by another. When we talk about love in this season of your life, we're not talking about the butterflies or the infatuation that comes and goes like a passing storm. We're talking about a kind of love that knows how to stay. A love that is emotionally intelligent, spiritually aware, and energetically clean. It's less about clinging and more about clarity. Less about losing yourself in someone else, and more about letting someone else witness the fullness of who you already are. This is what Venus, your ruling planet, is guiding you toward right now. Venus doesn't just rule over romance, but also beauty, value, and the ability to attract. And when Venus aligns powerfully with your sun sign, it doesn't just make you more attractive to others, it amplifies your magnetism from within. That means people may be drawn to you this month without you even trying. But instead of rushing to label or attach, this is the moment to stay rooted in your discernment. Ask yourself not just, do I want this person, but also, does this connection honor where I'm headed? Sometimes, the past returns not to repeat itself, but to reveal how much you've changed. You may hear from someone you once held close, someone who now sees you differently because you see yourself differently. If that happens, meet it without expectation. You are not the same version of yourself who once waited for their apology, or their attention, or their clarity. Now you come to the table whole, and that changes the conversation entirely. For others, love may show up in a brand new form, unexpected, unforced, and beautifully aligned with your freedom. It might come when you're not performing, not trying, not chasing. It might enter your life through a simple moment, a shared laugh, a thoughtful message, a glance that lingers longer than usual. Don't dismiss small beginnings. Sometimes the most powerful bonds begin in the quietest ways. And for those in long-term partnerships, this is a time to deepen. To let go of the need to be right, and lean into the desire to be real. To trade performance for presence. Emotional intimacy doesn't always look like fireworks, sometimes it looks like sitting in silence together, knowing you're safe. This month invites you to practice love as a verb, not just a feeling. That means holding space without judgment, allowing your partner to be fully themselves, and remembering that vulnerability is not weakness, it's where true connection lives. From a self-help perspective, now is a powerful time to revisit what love means to you. Journal on it. Speak it out loud. What does love feel like when it's healthy, balanced, and mutual? What behaviors are you no longer willing to accept? What emotional boundaries protect your joy without hardening your heart? The more clarity you bring to your definition of love, the more clearly love can find you. So ask yourself gently, are you loving from overflow, or from emptiness? Are you chasing, or are you choosing? And if you feel like your heart is opening again, not in desperation, but in divine timing, I'd love for you to share that. Leave a comment below with the words, "loving fully," to affirm that you are no longer waiting to be completed. You are simply ready to love from wholeness, not from lack. And that, Libra, is the most powerful love of all. Not everything that breaks you is meant to destroy you. In fact, some of the most meaningful redirections in life come dressed as disappointments, delays, or even silence. And Libra, as you stand in this powerful September energy, the luckiest, clearest, most aligning month of your year, you are beginning to see what you couldn't see before. You're starting to understand that what felt like a detour was, all along, the main road. That what you once called failure was really protection. That what you thought was rejection was actually redirection towards something more aligned with who you're becoming. There's a kind of wisdom that only comes when you're far enough along the path to look back. It's the moment you climb the metaphorical hill, turn around, and finally see the winding trail you've walked, and instead of regret, you feel reverence. Because now it makes sense. The heartbreak, the silence, the lost opportunity, the person who left without closure, all of it served a purpose. All of it positioned you for this very moment. And this is where the star and the justice cards begin to activate in your chart. The star is that divine clarity after a storm, the moment when the sky is clean, and the path ahead glows with new understanding. And justice? That's the moment when balance returns. When what once felt unfair begins to align in your favor. It doesn't erase the past, but it gives it context. And context brings peace. This isn't about spiritual perfection. It's about remembering that your life has never been random. Even in the times when you felt abandoned by people, by timing, even by God, something was still working on your behalf. You just couldn't see it yet. But now your perspective is rising. And with it comes the power to heal not just what happened, but how you've carried it. It's one thing to survive something. It's another thing entirely to transform through it. One of the most gentle but powerful practices you can do this month is to name what's changed. Sit with a journal and write down 5 things that once felt like endings but turned into beginnings. Maybe it was the job that didn't hire you, and instead pushed you to start your own business. Maybe it was the breakup that brought you back to yourself. Maybe it was the move you didn't want to make, and now it's the city that finally feels like home. When we bring gratitude to the moments that once hurt, we turn them into strength. That's the real kind of growth. Quiet, steady, rooted in truth. Another practice I recommend is to write a thank you letter to your past self, especially the version of you that kept going when everything felt heavy. Say thank you for not giving up. For choosing one more step. For believing in something, even if you didn't know what it was. That version of you deserves to be honored, because they got you here. You're not walking in circles, Libra. You're spiraling upward. And even though the path has curved and twisted in ways you couldn't predict, it has always been moving forward. You've always been moving forward. And now, you are finally seeing the bigger picture. The clarity. The justice. The divine realignment. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. If you have a lesson that changed your life, something that once felt like an ending but turned into your becoming, I'd love for you to share it in the comments. Your story might be the light someone else is waiting to see. Because the truth is, everything has a reason. And sometimes, the hardest seasons grow the strongest roots. Sometimes the most powerful changes in our lives aren't announced with thunder, they arrive quietly, in soft signs, subtle numbers, gentle colors, and an unshakable feeling that something good is unfolding, even if we can't quite see it yet. Libra, after all the soul work you've done, after all the clarity you've begun to receive, this part of your journey is less about striving and more about allowing. Because right now, everything is aligning behind the scenes, and your only job is to recognize the invitations when they appear. It may come as no surprise that the universe often speaks through numbers. Sequences like 222 and 888 aren't just pretty coincidences, they're energetic markers, signposts from your higher path reminding you where you are and what's waiting for you. When you see 222, it's a whisper of balance returning. A reminder that your decisions are aligned and that the path ahead is unfolding exactly as it should. It often shows up when you're in a moment of choice, encouraging you to trust that harmony is being restored both internally and externally. When 888 appears, it carries the energy of abundance, not just financial wealth, but the full spectrum of prosperity, emotional freedom, mental peace, supportive relationships, and a sense of spiritual ease. It is the frequency of receiving, of overflow, and of knowing that what you've poured out is now flowing back to you. In numerology, The number 2 represents duality, harmony, and cooperation, qualities you naturally carry as a Libra. It encourages collaboration and listening, but also reinforces the power of equilibrium. You don't need to chase extremes anymore. The beauty is in the center. The number 8, on the other hand, is the number of power, but not power over others. It's personal power, grounded confidence, the ability to manifest results through integrity and clarity. It represents the cycle of energy returning, and it often marks a season where the invisible becomes visible, where ideas turn into income, and inner healing reflects as outer success. Alongside these energetic codes, you may find your spirit drawn to certain colors more than usual. That's not random. Colors are frequencies, too. Green jade tones bring healing to the heart chakra, restoring emotional balance and peace after periods of internal unrest. Milky white carries purity, simplicity, and a return to truth, especially when it comes to intuition and spiritual clarity. Sunshine yellow helps activate joy and confidence, calling in attention, warmth, and positive opportunities. These colors can be worn intentionally, used in your home, or even visualized in meditation when you're seeking energetic reset or support. Affirmations can help seal these vibrations into your daily reality. Speak them not as wishes, but as truths already forming. I am stepping into a new cycle of abundance. I am chosen to receive blessings at the perfect time. These aren't just words, they're activations. And they're most effective when they're grounded in your actions. It's one thing to affirm abundance. It's another to organize your finances, make space for what's coming, or take small aligned steps toward your vision. This month supports both. Let go of the need to control the exact form in which your blessings arrive. The truth is, miracles don't come when you grasp tighter, they come when you loosen your grip and open your hands. The new doors opening now might look different than what you imagined, but they carry everything your soul has been calling for. So walk through them with calm expectation. This isn't a test. It's a reward. You've already done the work, now, let it bloom. And if you've been seeing these sacred numbers lately, I invite you to confirm your alignment in the comments. Just write, I'm walking through. That small declaration carries big energy. It says, I'm ready, I trust, and I'm stepping forward. So here we are, Libra, at the edge of something beautiful, not because you're waiting for permission, but because you're finally allowing yourself to receive. This isn't just another monthly reading. This has been a journey back to your truth. A return to clarity. A reminder that your timing is not broken, your path is not delayed, and your energy is not invisible. Everything you've been planting, praying for, releasing, forgiving, it's all been building toward this moment. And now, you stand at the threshold of your own alignment. This September isn't asking you to chase, force, or prove anything. It's simply asking you to say yes. Yes to trusting the guidance you feel deep in your body. Yes to showing up for yourself in small but powerful ways. Yes to receiving without guilt, resting without apology, and rising without resistance. The universe is not testing you right now. It's inviting you to step forward, to live fully, to believe again, not because everything is perfect, but because you are perfectly ready for what's next. The truth is, you were never just drifting along in life. You've been shaping it, moment by moment, with your thoughts, your energy, your decisions, and your faith. You are not a dot on someone else's story. You are the arrow aimed, focused, and launched by divine timing. You've always had the ability to choose direction, even when you felt lost. And now, more than ever, you get to decide what this next season will look like. So what would it look like if, instead of waiting for change, you became the change? What if, starting today, you did just one thing each morning that aligned you with the version of yourself you've been dreaming of becoming? It could be as simple as speaking one truth out loud, writing one line in a journal, or even playing this video again as a daily reminder of who you are. Small acts create big momentum, and momentum is everything when it comes to manifesting a new reality. I want to encourage you to take what you've received here and turn it into action. Not out of pressure, but out of love for yourself. What's one shift you can commit to today? Something gentle, something real that honors the clarity this reading has brought you. Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to move with intention, and trust that every step is leading somewhere sacred. And if this message touched something inside you even quietly, I invite you to claim it. Write in the comments, "I am ready to receive." That small sentence is more than just words. It's a spiritual declaration. It tells your heart, your future, and your energy field that you're open. That you're aligned. That you're in. Thank you, truly, for being here, for giving yourself this moment, for choosing reflection, and for allowing me and this channel to be part of your journey. Your support means more than you know. Every like, every comment, every subscription brings us closer together as a community, one built on faith, growth, healing, and higher awareness. You are the reason Zodiac Whisper Tarot exists and continues to shine. I hope this month isn't just lucky for you, I hope it's defining. I hope it's the month you look back on and say, that's when everything began to align. The universe, your highest self, and yes, even your deepest desires. They're all speaking the same language now. And they're saying, this is your time. If you believe that even just a little, don't leave without letting it land. Like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And share it with someone you love, because blessings multiply when they're passed on. I'll see you in the next one. But until then, keep listening. Your soul already knows the way.